Hello producers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I will show you how I make my build-ups. For this, I'm gonna use my latest release, Universe. Some of you may already hear the track. If you didn't hear the track, you can stream it on Spotify, iTunes, and any other platforms. If you're ready, let's get into that tutorial. So let's go sound by sound, and I'm gonna explain why I did and how I created my build-up. Okay, first of all, we are going to need a bass for the build-up. For this, I use the Reese bass that I use in my breaks. So when the build-up starts, so as you can see, it's a 16-bar build-up. In the first part, I divide it to two. In the first 8 bars, it's like bass going directly in the root key. But for some ear sandy, I automated this. Always automate things that depending on your track's vibe. Some ear sandy is always good. When the second part starts, I automate the respace pitch, but in the second part of the second part. But you can do just directly go like full section. It depends on you. After you make the bass, you can use some ambiences. That ambiences that you already used in your break, so your track will be glued together better. Again, as you can see, I made an volume automation for the ambience. I wanted the first part of the build-up start with some impact. So let's find the impact. I think this one. So that's why I made the bass automation, so my sub area, bass area, not conflict with each other. If I do that, I give some space to this sub drop, and I have some atmosphere sounds. With this, I'm using some sweep samples, and always try to connect the samples like this. And also I have some reverse sound. Let's see what else we have. We always need some sweep downs. Then we come to the snare. I just use the snare loop from Nicky Romero sample pack. And layer it with some Kashmir sample. Those are not the main snare. Main snare comes in the second part. And you still need some fills to connect the parts with each other. And I have one more snare like this. So I shortened the sample. Gave some reverb, some EQ. Also, I have a pitch automation for my snare. They all sound like this. So let's hear it with the bass. So with all the sweeps and the background elements, it sounds like this. Oh, also, I have some stadium claps to fill the background of the mix. We have stereo shaper. I made them super wide. I put some reverb and some EQ. Also, in the fill part, I made something like this. They are not even going to the mixer. And I think we have the vocals that were playing in the break. I just looped the vocals. And in this part, they are doubling, but I made some trick that I learned from Ollie James. I put an alter boy and made an formant automation. So when I pitch up my sample, I decrease the formant. So it's really unique effect. Also, I have some risers. And it's always too important that you have to tease the drop elements. So I have this plug in my drop. So they start in the build-up with the leads. You should not show your leads instantly. That's why I put an endless smile. So this is, you can think like a reverb. And this is the cutoff automation. So my leads are slowly coming to the front from the back. And this reverse sound is basically the sound from the plugs drop leads itself. I just take the first note, put it on tones of reverb, rendered and reversed, and put from the pre-drop part. So all the build-up sound like this. And lastly, I have an LFO riser going on. I have this preset. So for the processing, I give it some camel crusher. Maybe I could activate this on the real project too to make it more wide. Cut the lows, cut the highs, and some EQ, that's all. And some reverb, that's all. And then I automate the filter of it. So the LFO is working like this. it sounds like this in the track. And lastly, I almost forgotten, I have several master automations. So one of them is a filter. I'm cutting the lows with this. So maybe let's do it like this. When we're getting closer to the drop, I'm just removing some of the lows. Also, with the FL Studio stereo enhancer, I'm making it a bit more mono. So if you do that when the drop comes with a normal state, it's gonna sound more loud. And also lastly, I'm putting in fruity balance and I'm just removing some of the volume when we're getting closer to the drop. And in the drop, I'm just making it reverse, making it normal back again. And then I'm supporting these automations with a Valhalla room. It's just the reverb. I'm activating the wet knob in here. So I'm pushing everything to a bit back of the mix. Okay, I think it's all. I hope I didn't forget to show you anything. Okay, let's hear how it sounds like.